Starting something new can be a bit challenging, can't it? Often, a sense of difficulty feels even more intense when unfamiliar. Interestingly, the challenge can feel present even before we take that first step. It is difficult to decide on such a thing voluntarily. Does that say something about the character of those who decide on it? Absolutely. Some people are driven to new beginnings, but we'll discuss them again. Today we are dealing with those who decide on it of their own free will. I am one of those people. I love new beginnings. They give me a greater meaning in life. That beginning does not have to be a total turnabout of the current situation, but it must introduce some diversity. If the beginnings are difficult, you must wonder why I do it. Sometimes I wonder the same thing myself. If we already spend energy to create our place under the clear sky, where we are happy and satisfied, and yet, at some point, we decide to change, the more than logical question is, why on earth, oh? Why are you leaving us, Peter? I have heard this question several times in my life. Every time I ask myself again if I am making the right decision. Is this really what I want? Do I want to make my life unstable for the next few months? Knowing who is on the other side of this conversation is always important because it requires at least two people. An easier form of this event is when there are no emotions towards the other party. But when emotions are there, it adds another new dimension of difficulty. When I say emotions, I don't mean love, but friendship, emotions that are felt towards great people, those who at some point helped us, selflessly imparted a large amount of knowledge, in a word, indebted us to such an extent that we can never forget them. Regardless of all that, sometimes we want more. That more is most accessible when we are young. It is also a question of what age we are young. But that is, again, individual. It depends on our feelings. I believe that it is directly related to the wear and tear of our bodies in connection with what we have experienced over the years. We could live forever if surrounded only by good events and good people. But what is the probability of such a life? I know I'm not that lucky. So, I have to react quickly. I want to direct my energy towards greater heights while I still have it. How long will I have it? I'm not sure. According to my estimates, in proportion to all the happenings in my life, I should have been without her a long time ago. But I am more and more convinced that hard times make strong people. When I was going through some of the most difficult events in my life, when I felt powerless to help those who needed help, and it referred to the people closest to me, my family, I felt that I was sinking into a new dimension of consciousness. It is a dimension in which the door to some new energy opens. Maybe some call it dark energy, but I believe it is not dark until we decide. Once that door is opened, it never closes again. Energy flows, and in moments when life finds some balance, we want to move towards a higher energy state. The cycle repeats itself over and over. Does that cycle ever break? What can bring us back to a state of bliss and nirvana? Is it love? It is a universal medicine for everyone, which, combined with mutual faith, acquires special strength. Now, the question arises whether people who have opened the energy door need healing or if it is something everyone should strive for. However, this must depend on the person to person and also from the moment in life. Each of us must be ready and able to open and close that door as needed. Because if a difficult moment in life comes and we don't have the strength to at least open that door, what will happen to us? We must be ready and have that strength. When the difficult period is over, we must be able to close that same door of unlimited energy. Exposure to it for too long can be as harmful as not having the strength to open them. A new beginning is exactly one thing that requires energy from those infinite chambers. If we aspire to new beginnings, we have most certainly opened them. Does that strength come with experience? I believe that only a small part of it comes from there, and the rest comes from the hopelessness of difficult moments in life. Of course, this does not mean that we are hopeless cases. By no means. Never. It means we have the strength for great things. It only depends on when and for what periods we will open and close the door. But be careful. If you expose yourself to more energy than your body can handle, that's perfectly fine. But don't make it for a long period. If it is too long, it can damage our cells, structure, and disrupt our body's function, which will never be able to return to its previous healthy form. Always be guided by the algorithm. High energy, short exposure. Well-measured energy, longer exposure. It is always necessary to take occasional breaks for the body to relax completely and, once again, to withstand a greater flow of energy. Maybe the breaks will decrease over time, and the body will become stronger and stronger. There is logic. Does this mean that, at some point, we will be energetically infinite? If it is so, and it remains for us to treat it individually, then maybe that's exactly what faith in God is. We know very little about the energy in and around us. We know it exists. We know something about her, but few managed to open the door within the door. That second door is not for just any one. They are reserved only for the strongest. Do they even exist? I'm sure they exist. They read just as rare as a needle in a haystack. Let's get back to us and new beginnings. Wondering how to know if you're ready for it. It's simple. If you want to learn new ways of thinking, perspectives, and views on life and work, then you are ready for such a course. Departures and arrivals are also difficult. But it's all for the greater good. The empty place you leave behind will be filled by someone who has yet to acquire the energy you have already acquired. And you are making your way to new energy heights and raising the level of your energy balance. With each new beginning, you become an energetically stronger being. This is what we should all strive for. It's great to aim for a higher energy state. Doing so can help you become stronger and more independent in the long run. As a result, you will be happier. A new beginning is not just a word. A new beginning is the path to happiness. A new beginning is the path to energy balance. A new beginning is for you.